It's posting and it's live. Welcome to the live show here in the Google Plus Hangout on air. And Thomas, can you make some kind of music? Can you make a song?
Hold on.
No, just sing something.
Um,
No, that's okay. It's just a jingle to start the video. So welcome here, and here's Todd Newman. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you for inviting me.
Nice T-shirt.
It is, man. It's bamboo, I hear.
Where did you get those?
I went to Google I/O this year, and I got one. Picked one up.
How much does it cost to go to Google I/O?
It's free.
No, it's not free.
But it's free because you sell all the devices, no? You can sell your... What do you get this year? You got lots of things, no?
You get like a cell phone or like a tablet or something, which makes it worth going to, you know?
It was a Pixel. It's awesome, but no, I wasn't going to sell any of it, so it was just going to... Maybe if I got another Nexus 7, I would have sold it, but I just bought the new one too, which I'm loving as well.
I would love to have a Chromebook Pixel. The screen is amazing.
It is.
And
did you try to take out the Intel processor and install an ARM processor instead in your Pixel?
Why would you do that?
It makes it run like twice as long in a battery and makes it half the price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but maybe it doesn't make any sense.
But then you can't run a desktop OS on it.
You should just sell it and then buy 5 Chromebooks on ARM for the same price.
That's true. Or I could just
significantly slower Chromebooks with a lower resolution screen.
I saw your little thumbsticks you have on ARM devices. Maybe you got like the Chrome OS thumbstick, man. I just popped it.
Yeah, these four have Chrome OS. This is Chrome OS. Not yet Chrome OS.
I'm not a big fan of Chrome OS. I want an Android laptop.
But that's Chrome OS and this one.
Yeah. Oh wow, maybe.
I'm the first one in Europe with a Chrome stick, Chromecast. What's it called?
Chromecast.
Chrome dongle. I can
go buy one of those HDMI sticks from China. They look pretty good.
Yeah. Which one do you want?
I don't know. Any. Which has the best processor?
So now there's a quad-core Rockchip 3188.
Oh, I'd be happy to have one of those. So I could run Linux on it.
Yeah, you can run any Ubuntu you want, of course. So Todd, what do you think? Sir? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm hoping that Google doesn't flop this somehow. You know, I have high expectations. I think everybody does. Or at least I'm just hoping it goes. I just hope it goes through. The price is right. I mean, the software looks amazing. I know that Google's going to be saving. Instead of giving away everything like they do with their software with AOSP, let's say with the Nexus 5, they're going to start, Motorola is what you're going to want to buy, I believe, going forward. It's going to have all the Google love. You're not going to want to buy a Nexus. You're going to want to buy a Moto, is what I think is going to happen.
I have one right here. I've been testing it for the last 6 months.
Wow.
No, I'm joking. It's not the Moto X. But what do you do? What's your job?
I work for AT&T.
What do you do at AT&T? Are you like the strategist, secret guy behind the scenes?
Are you a sales guy?
Yeah, I'm a sales guy. Yeah.
In the store?
Store. Yeah, outside, inside.
So Motorola is the only American Android maker, no?
I don't think that's correct. I think there are a few others. I don't know their names, but they exist.
What? Dell doesn't make any phones.
Well,
HP doesn't make any Android phones.
Well, they make Android tablets, and there are several Android tablet makers in the U.S.
Yeah, but like small brands, of course, but like major brand is only Motorola. It's the only American company that's not Apple making phones. And that's not bankrupt like Palm or whatever.
Oh, I got a point there. Blackberries and Canada.
So basically, it's not like you cannot. It's like hard to even discuss that Google should have bought Motorola. Of course, they have to buy Motorola. There's like, of course. I mean, Google wants to be a hardware maker, and if they want to be a hardware maker, you can either start from scratch or you can buy a company. And the only company they could buy was Motorola. Unless they wanted to become like an Asian company or something. For now, Google is still American, right?
Yeah. Oh, I heard the Moto X will be made in the United States, which would be pretty cool.
Not made, assembled.
Yeah, it's just like the last few minutes at the end when they stick the sticker on. It's going to be made in the US.
That's not entirely correct. A lot of the components of phones are still American-made, like processors. They still make those here.
Kind of. I mean, some of the processors are manufactured in Texas. Like Samsung has a foundry there, but I don't think that the Qualcomm chips are made there. I think they're made in Taiwan.
Well, it's still a skilled job and something that can be done in the United States. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's good. They get gaining points with the politicians, and Google has to do that. I mean, you have to kind of say, hey, we're the guys introducing Made in America, and then the politicians
get some sort of tax break or something.
Yeah, they're gonna basically give them a break and say you can sell Android here. We're not gonna ban you. You know,
like our building in Texas. In Texas, they already have you don't really pay any taxes in Texas to begin with. You know, so
I might just move there.
Yeah, well, for corporations. But yeah,
let's all move there.
1,000 people working at a factory, but I wonder if, let's say, someone that lives in, let's say, England, if they're still gonna custom design it in Texas and then send it out, or if they're maybe they'll have some other factories where you can have them custom made. Or I don't know. I'm curious how that's gonna work.
The Open Pandora game console that is made in England, at least partially.
They made 7 of them, no?
They made a few thousand of them. It was actually somewhat successful, but it was difficult to introduce.
I remember making a video with the Open Pandora guy in 2008 or 2000.
Yeah, people have it. It took a long time for it to be produced, but people have it. Now it's really expensive and outdated, but people have it. It's like the same hardware as a Nokia N900, just they add game controls and they put a different OS on it. But it's not really that great. I mean, it's very expensive. It's like $600.
So my guess is that, well, I don't know, but Motorola has been limited to selling in the US mostly recently, right? In the last couple of years. So it's going to be interesting to see if they at all going to sell it outside the US. That's already going to be improvement over nothing,
Well, they do sell some products outside the US, small amounts in Europe. Not a lot, but they do sell there.
Yeah, but the last few generations of smartphones have basically been US only, like Verizon only or something like that, limited. So yeah. I'm hoping that normally when Google comes in, they say, okay, let's go global, let's sell in Africa, let's sell in Asia, let's sell all over the world, and India, like Brazil. And I hope that the Moto X is going to be a focus for Google is going to be to sell in all over the world. That's going to be interesting to see.
Google should make a game console, in my view.
They're doing that. I leaked I posted a thing. I got 500 reshares last year when I posted about the Google Entertainment Console. It's gonna come, but
I think it would be a cool idea.
They're working on it, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna release it. Maybe they think Chromecast is good enough.
No. They're definitely going to make lots of money, and a lot of publishers are going to get involved with it. So I believe that's their hot ticket. Because if say HBO decides, hey, you don't have to have a Comcast subscription. We'll just let it go on the web, and Google's already going to be doing stuff with YouTube, and so it's going to work out. I believe that YouTube, that little Chromecast is just how they get in on it, and then after that, they may make that console you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe the Google console is gonna look kind of like this. It's gonna be like a Chromecast, maybe slightly bigger with a bigger a USB stuff, and it doesn't have to be a big box.
You don't have to have an ugly controller. That's all you got to follow around. You just use your phone, use your tablet, use your iPad, use whatever.
Or use a controller if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Bluetooth, you can connect whatever you want. It needs to run Chrome OS, and it needs to support all the Android games too.
It should be noted that the Dreamcast from several years ago had an ARM processor, and that was pretty much the last, big console that had one. So maybe Google making something will get ARM into game consoles, since it's typically been PowerPC and recently x86. So
That's a really good point. I was a huge fan of my Dreamcast. I pirated all the games from the internet and put them on CDs and stuff. It was so cool. It was so easy to pirate also on the Dreamcast.
I
So,
know, it's great.
and there's at least 20 awesome games on the Dreamcast, and it's all you need. You don't need like hundreds, but there were some really good games, like some games you can shoot.
And it
stuff.
ran on Windows CE, so it was like, it was like a phone inside of a game console, like a really advanced one. But
Yeah,
I don't know, I thought it was a good idea.
I'm pretty sure that Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are doing huge mistake not using ARM for the next generation console, and that's just that is gonna make them fail and make them go down. And Google is gonna come with an ARM-powered console, and it's gonna change everything.
The problem with current consoles is like they don't really offer a lot of control for the user, and they're just PCs that are locked down. Other like mobile devices and PCs offer a better gaming experience and more versatility, and you essentially pay the same price in the long run.
Yeah. So I mean, Google probably needs to like do slightly more before it's ready. So what I think they're getting to is to merge Chrome OS and Android, and once that's ready and running on something like a stick, then Google is ready, like $49 home console, or not. It's going to be $50. They don't need to do the 49. They just do 50.
Well, why did they need Chrome OS? I mean, like Android can do all the same things. It can run Chrome. It runs it pretty well.
Well, Chrome OS is all about simplicity, speed, and what's the securities, and that's really important.
Can't you get all those things on Android?
Android is complicated, is not as speedy, and is not theoretically not as secure. And it's just about if you can have Android game support within an extension in Chrome, or you can also switch. You can have both.
Well, OS is a thin client, whereas Android is just like a meaty operating system, where you have lots of local files. But they want to do everything in the cloud, so that's where everything's going. That's why.
I don't see everything going in there. Like that's been tried before, and people didn't really like it. And it's just, when a vendor decides to discontinue a cloud service, it's all gone. And I've had that happen to me before.
Well, TV is going to be like that in the future. Google has their own, basically it's all video on demand. It's all hosted on their servers. Whatever you want to watch, you're streaming it. The problem is the ISPs, and they bottleneck everything. You only have so many limits, 150 gigs or 300 gigs. That's because people selling you internet are also selling you media like Time Warner. They might be CNN.
Right.
That's why I like what Google does. They come in and they see monopolies, and that's how they take advantage of it. But your guys were talking about the Moto X, and I believe it will be sold worldwide. If you saw the splash screen, it shows the whole globe, and it shows, all the different countries and stuff like that. I think that's kind of like letting you know. But
yeah, Thomas, can you show on your screen? Can you show some latest news with the Moto X? So.
Hold on, let me find
the processor is going to be really interesting. It's basically Google is entering this game now, and they are customizing their own SoC. Of course, they cannot do it themselves. So the biggest partner they can work with, since Samsung is only making processors for Samsung, they're not going to work with Samsung. They could work with NVIDIA. Or with Qualcomm, which is the other very big one, because if Google wants to make hundreds of millions of phones, they need to have a partner that has potential capacity to provide what they need. This is Qualcomm.
There isn't a lot of news on the Moto X, but it will be coming out around like August 1st, so that's tomorrow.
Today.
It's now.
Well, it's still July 31st over here.
Okay.
Can you show that article again?
Hold on.
So there's a Christian Post, and this is the International Business Times of India or something like that. Or maybe it's not. So this is it. Basically, it's like a Qualcomm ARM with some sensors. I don't know if the sensors are on the same die as the ARM processor. I guess maybe they're just like separately on the...
Oh, more on the X8 processor, as it's called.
And that's 13 minutes ago. So let's read that, because what I'm saying is maybe BS.
BS?
Yeah, BS. So...
it seems pretty good.
This is a Qualcomm S4, which is a 28 nanometer from Qualcomm. And so that other stuff, is that on the same die or what? Can you stay on the article? Where you were with so what does it say?
Like, when are we finally going to reach, like, beyond 28 nanometers, like 22 nanometers? Like, when is that going to happen?
It's happening later this year, but I mean, the thing about this processor, there's even like 14 nanometers being demonstrated by ARM. But the thing about what Google is doing is they don't need to ship the highest processor, the fastest processor. This is hopefully about a cheap device. This is about $199, let's hope. This is about affordable hardware and about mass market. So.
And once you go so fast, there's no point. I mean, like, what's that? The 500 cores in the phone. I mean, you know.
Well, that's a bit of ignorance on your part. More cores actually gives you better battery life, and that's the point of having more cores. It's not about performance. Actually, it often does the exact opposite.
Hey, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, but you got low power cores. If you have hungry, you know, you got the big little architecture or whatever you call it. But you have two cores, one core specifically that's supposed to work at 15 hertz. That's insane. You know,
it's true. Maybe you don't really need more performance than this. But there is a Qualcomm S600 and a Qualcomm S800, which might be higher performance than this. I'm not totally sure why this is below the 600, or if it is or not.
Been lower. It's been lower.
It's a bit lower, right?
No, bin. It's binned lower, like BIN.
Lower.
It's just like when they test them, it doesn't clock as high. Like, it has a failure rate, so they lower the clock.
But is it the same as the Qualcomm S600?
Yes, basically that's what it is. But everybody calls it that's what it is. It's just that they didn't call it that, but it's basically the same exact thing, except for it doesn't test quality tests. So they bin them a little bit lower and they clock them down to 1.7. You know,
it sounds great. It sounds like this is the performance that Qualcomm can provide today. That there's no S800 yet, and even if there was an S800 ready, you would want to get the one that's more affordable and that has the best yield, so you can get the best prices. So it makes sense that this is it. This is the one they would have to pick and use.
Right, and going forward, there's like still a lot of people who don't own smartphones. Like I still own a feature phone, and so do people in poorer countries.
You don't have a smartphone at all?
Nope. I own Android tablets. That's what I can afford.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be affordable. This is a trick, because paying $2,500 to AT&T is too much, right? Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but.
Well, I mean, that's what off contract's for, you know. But even if you're off contract, unless you go with Go Plan or something like that, you know. But it's in Europe, so it's a little bit easier for you guys.
Well, for me, I just get if I were to get a smartphone, I would just use it for calling and then hop on the Wi-Fi hotspot.
Hey, Euro, what's up? What train are you taking? Where are you going? Well, he was taking a train, Euro. He's taking the train to the future, I guess, as a maestro of Europe.
I've ridden on a few European trains. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're much faster and better than anything else. But maybe I shouldn't say that.
But I don't.
crashed recently.
American trains suck.
Yeah, but I mean the one that just crashed in Switzerland, it's not very cool. But nobody died. But in Spain, oh shit, that was terrible.
You made it feel like it was boring. Oh, but nobody died. Nah.
What are you saying?
It sounded funny. You sounded like it wasn't exciting, but but nobody died.
Well, at least, that's a good thing.
Well, nobody died in Switzerland as far as I can remember in the story, but in Spain, lots of people died on the French train. That was bad. But, yeah, smartphones, hopefully $199, no contract. This is
well, there are a
what
few
would
that are
excite me.
available for.
300? What do you mean 300? Is it 300 or 200?
It's not no price right now, but I'm saying it's going to be $350.
That sounds good also, but 200 is better. But maybe 200 is much too low, I guess. But it costs less than 200 to make, that's for sure.
Parts cost $225. That's what Goldman Sachs came up with like today on the news.
What is that?
When they broke down the parts today, they said the cost would be about $225, and that they could sell it for $300 and make $75, or maybe $350.
Well, they can sell it for 200 and make millions, and then that's the average price at the end of the day, and then they don't lose any money.
Declare war against every other partner that they have if they sell it for 200. That's just basically like, all right, Google, see you, Sam.
Maybe, but Samsung has some $100 Android phones, and
there are MediaTek phones that
Google needs to do it. Come on.
Like there are MTK smartphones that sell for $200 to $300 that are pretty good. I mean,
yeah, in China, if you go, you can find some Android phones for $35 also.
But the Jiayu G3, that's $200, pretty decent specs. I might get one.
But yeah, of course, maybe it's too cheap. So maybe even right now, maybe Google is sitting and they're not sleeping, and they're sitting like the CEO is sitting there and talking with some other guys in the industry and saying, "Come on, let us do it for 200." Maybe they're still discussing the price. Maybe they don't know yet how cheap they will price it.
Well, the other partners don't like what Google's doing. They can just go somewhere else.
Hey Thomas, here's something. You said it was ignorant to say more cores. But my point about what I was talking about, the X8, what makes it so special is that bang for the buck and for battery life. I'm pretty sure that no one's gonna be able to touch the battery life of the new droids that are coming out because of the X8 SoC. It's custom made. But the main thing about the X8, what would you rather have? A phone that you can maybe benchmark and get a billionth of a second faster, you won't see any difference, but if it's going to drain a little bit more power, because I'm sure Samsung, the Octa, the Exynos 5, whatever you want to call it, I don't see that being as good as the X8. I mean, spec-wise, it may look pretty, but if you're going to get better battery life, that sells me, and if you same performance for the most part, I don't see what the
well, my main point is that the purpose of having more cores is to have better battery life, and that's why processor makers are increasing the amount of cores, is to get better battery.
But it's also marketing, and there's lots of quad cores that don't really do more than dual cores.
Just for example, this has a single core processor. It outperforms many dual core tablets, but it gets significantly less battery life than dual core tablets.
It depends, because in Android it's not necessarily helping with battery life. It really depends what's on the SoC. And the X8 might have a whole bunch of really, really interesting things, like the sensors that might stay on for months on the battery, and those super low power sensors that, for example, they monitor when you touch the device. So you don't need to touch the power button anymore. I'm just guessing. I'm thinking it's probably what it is. You don't need to touch the power button anymore. You just pick it up and it's on, because the sensor is going to be on all the time inside. And it's so low power. It's like 12 microfarads.
Wouldn't that drain the battery more?
No, because the sensor is super low power, and it's only the sensor is going to be on, and the arm is going to sleep, like fully sleep, and only wake up when you touch the phone.
Imagine your phone sleeping right now, but that's how the processor is going to be when it's on. Even even like I don't know which one it is. It isn't. It's like the voice processor can also function as the main CPU when it gets to a certain point. Of course, then it turns on the other dual cores. But I mean, if you could do some tasks on it, like remedial tasks, that's amazing. You know, while it's asleep.
Yeah.
But custom designed the firmware for it. They did a lot of code to take advantage of this. The Android's never been designed from the hardware to the software up. This is something brand new. You know.
Well, that's also not true. Like many Android operating systems are actually really designed around the hardware. Like I know Samsung does a lot of stuff, and HTC, for better or for worse, also does stuff too. Like
yeah, but maybe Google does it better than the other guys.
Well, of course, Google will do it better. Like they know Android inside and out.
There might be like hundreds of engineers working like at Motorola and together with Google like so closely in the last months and basically year. Working very closely on this kinds of the next generation of smart sensors, which really adds a whole bunch of new features. It's not like it's going to be very fascinating what's going to happen with these new ARM processors, because you combine them with sensors, then suddenly you have very smart and potentially much longer battery life too. Maybe it really one can hope this is the best battery life so far. And just like some amazing functionality in here. You don't even need to take it out of your pocket. Maybe you'll have some functionality just in your pocket.
Yeah, Samsung doesn't have the code. I mean, they're basically tied to Google, and they have to wait, and they get the code, and then they're like, go, go, go. It's time to, integrate this with that. And Google's kind of, oh man.
He disconnected, but it's true what you said, Thomas. That Samsung, of course, is working closely with Google, and there's some Samsung guys at the Google offices every single day, so they do see the code. But still, now Google, the reason they are becoming a hardware maker is because they want to make things even better and faster and sooner. And you have to be a hardware maker to make hardware, otherwise you just wait for others to do whatever they want.
Right. Well, so, I think we're going to go back to a model of I guess these hardware and software makers are the same guys. If I were to say so myself. I mean, there are some problems with that, but there are also advantages to it too.
Hey, we were just saying that Thomas was right. Well, I'm joking, but there was just a little. I mean, of course, Samsung is at Google, and they are working with Google very closely, and HTC too, and all the other, even Sony, for sure. Like there's let's say 50 Sony engineers at the Google offices every single day, and 50 Samsung engineers at the Google offices every single day. But still, Google needs to be a hardware maker to push the industry the way they really want it to go. Otherwise, they just sit back and let people sell expensive, overpriced hardware forever, and then nothing happens. And Google needs, I hope they're really thinking about the next 4 billion people that are going to get smartphones, and the next 5 billion people even. Like, this is a very big deal.
So I think Thomas said something about that. Right.
Well, what I was saying is I think device makers are going to go back to a model of where the hardware maker and the software maker are the same people, and where the processor maker and the OEM are the same people. Like, OEMs used to create their own processors, and I think they're going to go back to that.
Hey, what's up, Rafael? Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey.
Sorry, just chimed in and was hearing what you guys are talking about.
Hey, where are you?
Do you have video
Los
working?
Angeles, California.
All right. Do you have video or no? You don't want to be on video?
No, I don't. I'm on my phone right now.
So what do you think about technology? Do you have something you think?
Well, right now that you guys are talking about hardware and software, I mean, Google has a long way to go in terms of hardware, in my opinion, just because, I mean, everyone saw the Nexus Q, the giant flop that thing was. And then the Chromebook Pixel, it's a amazing laptop, but a touchscreen on a big device like that, what's the point? It's like I'm hoping Google gets more into starts actually creating useful hardware from time to time. I mean, right now it just seems like they're trying and trying, but every successful person has to try a lot just to succeed one time. And Google has a software thing locked down. Of course, I mean it's Android, it's all about them. And what I like is when Google actually interferes with the company, or actually interacts with the company to create a great device. I mean,
well, maybe Motorola.
I think when they actually start working them.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Sorry I interrupted.
Hey, Thomas, can you show a tech meme? Do you have a tech meme in the tab?
I think I have a few open, so hold on.
Can you screen share that one?
Okay, so Samsung is potentially going to release a Galaxy Note 12.2 and a successor to the 10.1, and they will both have super high resolution screens, 2560 by 1600. So hopefully that will get laptop makers to put better screens in their laptops, because we've been stuck with pretty dismal resolutions.
What's the let's see here. Oh, okay.
I don't remember who makes the screen for the Pixel, but I guess it's going to be a trend now. Super high resolution, but this is an ARM-powered tablet, isn't it? But maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
it's the new
it is.
Exynos 5. They need to use the new Exynos 5 somewhere.
Right. Well, it's a
Pixel.
Galaxy Note, so it's going to be based for sure, and it's going to be Android based. Like that's what the Notes are Android. I mean, the Active or Active or whatever they call it is what runs Windows.
All right.
Or when
let's see some other news, some tech meme. Should I try to share that?
Okay, hold on. Let me find some stuff. HTC is in the shitter right now. They're losing a lot of money.
Is that true?
What's
Who said
Yes,
so?
it is.
Who said so?
They think they're going to lose money.
What's new?
So
they're lowering their guidance.
they need to get rid of Peter Chu.
He said he was going to leave.
Oh, he said he would leave. That was part of the deal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Has become a
also,
total disaster. Yeah, not
Also,
sure about
this
that.
was released recently, the NVIDIA Shield. I think it looks pretty cool, and I might get one to run emulators on. It looks, like Android. Like I think this will be a big step forward for Android gaming.
So.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually getting the NVIDIA Shield to review from NVIDIA. I met up with them at E3. I mean, it's a pretty good device, but like, as far it's a really small market in my opinion, just because it's the first of its kind, which is great. But even then, I have a Moto controller that I play with on my Note 2, and it's basically the same thing, and my screen is bigger.
Well, it's not the first of its kind. Like there was the Xperia Play, and then there's all sorts of devices from China, like JXD and Yinlips make their own Android handheld gaming consoles.
And Arcos has been selling a whole bunch of game players also recently.
Oh yeah, the gamepad, and
but this is the first Tegra 4, which is quite interesting. So
yeah, like $300 for Tegra 4 is a pretty good deal. That's some pretty good hardware.
So what did they say in the review? Did they say it's cool or not?
They think it's good. They just think it's big and bulky, which it is,
And yeah, it's big for a 5-inch device, but I guess that's how it is.
I don't know. Maybe I'll replace my Arcos 5 with it.
Yeah, Arcos 5 is from 2009, no?
Yeah, I still have it. It's still good.
Right. So. What do you want? Do you see anything interesting here? Apple's next iPad Mini will likely have Retina display from Samsung. This is funny that it's funny that Samsung is the one providing technology for Apple. Everything is done by Samsung or LG. Apple doesn't do anything themselves.
Well, but they just care about making money, so it's no problem for them.
Because that 7-inch screen in the Nexus, the new Nexus 7 is quite interesting.
It is beautiful.
Have you seen it?
I have it.
You have it.
It's
Are you
right
using
here.
it now for your Hangout?
Well, it's not. I'm not using it for the Hangout. I can show it to you.
So how awesome is it?
Well, I mean, here she is, but man, the screen is amazing. I wasn't gonna get it, but I checked it out at Best Buy, and I was like, sold. I mean, because I have the Nexus 7 first gen, and I liked it. You know, it's just that I got spoiled with the Pixel, and after playing with that Pixel, it's the most beautiful piece of hardware I've ever put my hands on. I love that thing, and then the resolution on that, I just had I gadget freak, man. So I'm gonna have to sell my Nexus 7 now, so I could.
Well, you should use your original Nexus 7 for hacking. You can put Ubuntu on the original Nexus 7.
Okay, so I could do some packet injection, get some Wi-Fi's.
So how
No,
much
I'm just,
how much did you use your Nexus 7 the whole year last year?
I used it a whole lot in the beginning, and then it kind of collected dust because, man, I don't know. It's too big for me. Even though it's a 7-inch, I usually use my phone to do all my, unless I'm watching a movie or something, I'll bust out my tablet.
I like the 7-inch. I can fit it in my pocket.
But the new one, the bezel's so much thinner. I can put my fingers like I have a small hand, and I can put my fingers around. It feels good. I can hold it like this on my palm, and it won't even slip. You know, it's got like a nice texture. It's great. But I like it. I'm getting a lot of use out of this. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's Asus.
And
So
Google,
you were able to buy the cheap one to 229, or you were forced to buy the more expensive one?
no, I got the
229.
230.
231.
Yeah,
Yeah. Plus taxes,
plus taxes.
plus
I
Texas.
hate
Eight
those sales taxes.
8 times 23? Anyway, so there you go. That's the tax on it.
Like $25 extra or something.
Yeah.
All
Which is a
right.
lot.
So what else is new here? Anything else is new?
Hold on. I think there is some stuff out there.
Apple App Annie Index. Google Play exceeds iOS app stores in app downloads by 10%. Yeah, I don't know who App Annie is. I mean, there's always a bunch of people that you never hear about, and they're all over the news and like, oh, we have statistics on this and that and stuff. But
Oh, Microsoft lost money on the Microsoft Surface. They spent more on marketing on it than they actually, sold.
I think
I believe
I think it's possible that Microsoft lost something like 10 or 20 billion dollars in the last for Windows 8 and all the Windows Phone crap that they have been throwing around.
Windows 8 is awful. I've used it. It's horrible.
it is. But see, we were talking about marketing. See, that doesn't. HTC, I believe, would have really made some good money this year if they would have marketed the HTC One, but they really didn't. Then you look at Microsoft, and they spent more money and more dollars on ads than any other company, and look what happened. It doesn't prove it.
HTC needs to make another tablet. They needed a Flyer successor.
Yeah.
I like the Flyer. It's a good device.
But it was $600 no when it came out. How do you afford that?
I bought it. Its price went down. Its price went down to $300. It was $500 in the U.S. originally. Then it was $300.
Yeah, well, I think HTC and the other guys just need to sell cheaper stuff because the expensive stuff.
Well, they could make a device similar to this with better specs and software and whatnot, and then just sell it for the lower price, like $300. Like they could sell a new HTC Flyer for $300.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
I just want to see Nokia step into Android.
I just want to see Nokia continue with Migo.
Yeah, what's up with Nokia?
I mean, that 41 megapixel camera, that's an amazing camera. If that was paired up with Android, I'd be set.
You could probably hack Android onto it.
I'm sure it's a nice.
So there was all this.
That ugly.
There was all this talk about Apple going over to TSMC, And it might be that even the Apple A7 is still not TSMC, it's still Samsung making the processor for Apple. It's possible. I mean, what does it say here? They found some code and something, and it says that I don't know. I guess not. I guess it's just
all this patent stuff is BS. You know, like none of it's real.
yeah, but still, I mean, this guy, what's his name? Tim Cook is still in charge of a whole marketing campaign against Android, saying that somehow they own everything, and now they are so dependent on Samsung and on LG. There's nothing. If they didn't have these companies working for them in Asia and the Chinese manufacturers, Apple would have.
It's all just LG, Samsung, and Foxconn. You know, they don't make anything themselves.
So this is the next Samsung ARM. I mean Apple ARM based on Samsung ARM. All right. So what else is there here? Samsung in front of Apple and satisfaction study. I mean that's bullshit. Android has been in front of Apple for like years.
Well, most people don't know that they have an Android device. Most people like buy a device and they think it's like some sort of Samsung OS or HTC OS or Motorola OS. Like they don't know it's running Android. They just know it's the device. So that's why.
That's true.
They're more satisfied with Android because they buy more Android. That's kind of like the way to see it, no?
Well, but just most people don't know they have Android. Most people think they have like something else. Most people don't know what Android is.
And then there's this whole talk about Google Fiber violating network neutrality. I mean, that's kind of bullshit. What do you think?
I think it's melodramatic. I think people are just trying to. It's just FUD. Basically, they don't want somebody running freaking Bitcoin miners, just massive servers. They don't care if you have a server. They just don't want you running a massive business on their network, just like any other company, basically in the United States.
I hope that Google Fiber comes to my area. Like it's just Cox cable is very expensive for what you get. Like that's all that's here is this cable companies. They're not that great.
Go to Starbucks.
Yeah, go to Starbucks.
That's even worse.
Starbucks took up Google now.
Yeah, they have Google.
Huh. Well, maybe I'll go
Google's
over
supplying Starbucks Wi-Fi now. They dropped AT&T.
Hey, I mean, that hurt my feelings a little bit, but yeah.
And then there's
maybe you could get a job at Google instead of AT&T.
I'm working on that one.
Like you can become a salesperson for Google. Because Google could have stores and sell things there. Not sure what they'd sell.
That's actually where I'm trying to get a job. There's a guy, he's a product manager. I was at Google I/O, and we hung out at the very end, he was, we were just cutting up. I didn't even know he worked there. He was just selling product. I thought they'd hire somebody as like a contractor company, but anyway, so I've been chatting, sending some back and forth, but anyway, that'd be cool. It'd be working at the department that develops like the perks for the engineers. But yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is like Google needs stores. They need to start up stores, in my view. And that's what they need
that
most.
too. That too, as long as the devices are still priced at cost, I'm fine with whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to work at Google. It's the coolest company in the world, no?
I know. They truly do know evil.
And they know it also. And
they're a good company.
So there's some talk about Anantech, which is quite like technical into all the Intel stuff and also the ARM stuff. Where they were talking about the GPU, and they were claiming that Samsung was cheating on the benchmarks.
Yeah.
Everybody
I heard
cheats
about
on
that.
benchmarks, so it's not news, you know. Like Qualcomm has been cheating on benchmarks for years, and Nvidia is cheating on benchmarks, and they're all cheating on benchmarks. Especially Apple is cheating all the benchmarks because you
Several
can't.
benchmarks are designed specifically for Qualcomm to make Qualcomm look better.
Yeah, I mean, basically Qualcomm benchmarks. But Qualcomm released the benchmark originally, for example, or some other guys. So I don't think you can really trust these benchmarks. But
But their cheating was a little bit different, though. I mean, it was like you can never even get to those speeds normally on your phone unless it's like it sees that it's being benchmarked, and then it like opens up all the GPU power, all the CPU power. You know, I think it's mainly the
I mean,
GPU,
how
but
is
yeah,
that cheating though? I mean,
that's what they all do, I think. I don't think that's special. I mean, you never go into a benchmark situation on your phone, no matter what.
that's
right?
true. I mean,
Benchmarks don't tell you about day-to-day usage, really.
correct.
Yeah, so I just think it's weird of Anantech to, I don't know if they did, but if they did a big story out of this, I think it's weird of them to do it now and not have done it for
Okay,
all
cool.
the other
Yeah.
benchmarks before.
But if you go on tech sites, everybody who gets like tech boners about a freaking benchmark, you know, because the new S4 comes out and it clocks at this. I mean, you know, everybody's comparing the specs of that to the HTC One, and the thing is, it doesn't matter because the S4 is laggy, sucks, because it's running TouchWiz and it's just janky, you know. So that's just proof that I mean, it's got no hardware, but it's just the software is causing problems, and that you're right, it's day-to-day usage, you know. You can have the
Well,
nice.
TouchWiz isn't so bad. Like I like TouchWiz. It's just it's functionality focused, whereas other user interfaces are focused on making it shiny.
The S3 ran better than the S4 because the TouchWiz was so bloated. You know, it weighed down all the improvements they added to the S4. It's just crazy how that even happened. But I don't know how it runs on 4.3, but I'm sure it's going to be fixed. Maybe.
Right. The S4 has several bugs with it. Like I know Steve Litchfield pointed them out in his review of the S4. Like,
Samsung should just launch Nexus only UI, but they should all do that.
No, they would
And,
never.
They should at least let us easily
Well, that
get
won't be a
it.
problem for much longer anyway.
I mean, if you really want it, you can just root your device. I don't see what the problem is.
Why should people root it? There should be like one button in the settings. Just click that and you're out of it. You're in Nexus mode.
Exactly. A theme or something.
That's the whole point. Have you guys heard of Paul O'Brien's
But it really
Switch?
wouldn't be
He's putting it
possible
on the
to do
S4.
that because,
No,
like,
no,
device customizations are pretty deep.
Yeah.
Like, they replace core system components and all sorts of other things.
What do you say, Raphael?
The Switch, the Moto
Paul
Switch.
O'Brien's Switch. It's an app that switches from on HTC. He put on the HTC. It switches between Sense and ASOS, and he's putting it on the S4 as well.
Does it really switch everything off and let you have a Nexus experience? Yep. A full Nexus experience?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. That's what needs to be there. It needs to be like pre-installed even when you get the device.
I agree.
Yeah, he started a whole fundraiser about it for the S4. He did it on the HTC One and it was a hit, so he started a fundraiser for the S4 and everyone went after it.
All right.
That guy's a genius.
So here's Microsoft being a genius too. Now Microsoft is releasing Office on Android. So they should have done that a long time ago, I guess. But this is where Microsoft needs to go. And I'm sure Microsoft has about 100 engineers working on Android right now and making sure that there is a version of Metro for Android very soon.
Microsoft makes more money off of Android than they do Windows Phone. So, Windows Phone fail, one word.
They don't really make any money at all. That's the thing. They don't make money on Android. That's just a rumor.
Well, they make a lot of money off of licensing, which I don't think is a good thing. I think they should. I think patents should be done away with. I'm against patents.
But they don't get any money at all for licensing. It's just BS.
Yeah, the Nook.
Do you have any evidence of that, Charbax?
The evidence is that there's no evidence of them making money.
Exactly. It is true. We used to all think that, but then it turned out that they just made license agreements with them. Like, they're just basically, we'll let you use this if you do this, and if you sell our product, like Samsung, we want you to make our phone. And they just tell the media, hey, Microsoft, we made a deal with Microsoft. So then they go to the little guys. They get scared. They may actually license it, but that's what they're trying to do.
But there's no, even the little guys, nobody pays for Android at all. It's just BS.
Well, that's not 100% true. They pay for the Google Play application, since those are all proprietary and commercial.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
Google Play?
Yes, for Google Play, they pay for that.
Nobody pays for Google Play. It's free.
No, they pay for that. That costs money.
What do you mean? People paying Google? They're not.
Yes, they are.
No. Google is providing everything for free. You just have
Google
to be
does
within
not provide
Google's.
Everything for free. Google Play is not free.
It's totally free, 100% free.
No,
everything is free.
It's both. It not only costs money, but it's also closed source. It's also non-free software.
It doesn't cost anything at all. Like, you get the Google apps, you just have to pass some tests, and Google has to kind of give you a permission to get their apps, but you're not paying Google anything.
No, they actually pay like a $20 to $30 licensing fee for it.
Nah. Where do you read that?
Yes.
On some comment somewhere? That's BS. Nobody pays anything for Android. It's 100% free. And Samsung and HTC and whoever else is rumored to pay Microsoft something, they're not doing that.
I'm not talking about Microsoft. I'm talking about Google. Manufacturers pay Google for the usage of the Google applications. Those aren't free. Those cost money.
Nah, they're free.
No, they're not.
That's BS. Total BS.
I thought
It's not BS.
I've never read that they paid for them, but I mean,
what you can pay, can pay Google if you want Google engineers to come to your factory and help you optimize your Android code and stuff. Maybe that costs money, but that's not really part of the industry. I mean, Google has a bunch of people going around helping everybody for free. That's how it usually is. As long as you're big enough, then you get Google support.
And also, I think Google should make their applications open source. So, because right now they're proprietary.
Yeah, at least some of them. I mean, they should be. But
they have to be proprietary.
Why?
The Google Store cannot be open source.
Why not? It's just a client. It's just a client for a service. That's all it is.
Nah, there's more to it.
Yeah, what would make sense?
Ubuntu Software Center, you can buy things on that, and that's an open source client. That's all it is. You use it. You're connecting to a service. That's all you're doing. It's no different than a browser.
Android for free, but the Play Store, they're bundling the Google apps. That's their own app, and that's the only thing I agree that they should is, like, if they didn't do that, then it'd just be like Amazon all over everywhere, and that's. I mean, it would be bad for Google.
I don't see what's so bad about making those things open source.
There could be some open source, like Chromium version of Gmail and a Chromium kind of version of Google Maps, maybe. But Google has to protect their services because it's a giant amount of data that goes into serving all that for free. So they cannot just let people have alternative versions that might use too much data, or on Google Maps it costs them a fortune. Also the AT&T is and all these guys, the carriers all the bandwidth goes through there, and so it's very important that the YouTube app is clever and doesn't use too much bandwidth. So it has to be proprietary. Otherwise, it might really hurt the carrier if you don't do it the right way and you don't optimize everything as it should be.
I mean, if anything, you just want the last drops of their blood and be like, I want everything for free. I mean, it's just, there's some things they can't give away, and that I don't see how they would be able to give that away for free. But hey.
But the Ubuntu Software Center, you can buy applications from it, and it's open source. It works just fine.
Yeah, but there's like 12 people using it, and there's not going to be more than that using it.
I'm not talking about the merits of the thing itself. I'm just giving it as an example of how it could be done.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think Canonical is trying, and they should try because they need to make some money with the things that they do. But then I hope they're trying the right way, because I'm not sure they are trying the right way. The whole
I don't know. I think they have some good stuff. Like I think they have good design. They have a really nice design vision that's better than others.
yeah. Well, let's hope more than 12 people use Ubuntu on Android. What they should have done, and hopefully they will do, is just provide it as kind of like an application that runs on every Android device. You need to customize the firmware and add a whole bunch of things to the firmware still, but it needs to be open for every different Android device, not for only licensed
I'm sure they'll do
devices.
something like that, like make Ubuntu for Android, like downloadable or something.
Yeah, I mean you can install it on your Nexus and stuff like that, and also the whole thing about the Ubuntu OS instead of Android, I don't get it. It has to be on top of Android. It has to be together with Android.
Why does it? Well, it already uses some Android components. It uses the Android kernel and some other stuff.
Yeah, they have to because they can't do it otherwise. But they should.
But I think it's good that they're offering
combination.
something different. Competition's a good thing.
Well, competition, or if you're talking about open source, Android is open source, so
but
you don't need to compete with it.
It's
just
not really
go.
open source. Google can withhold code, and the Google Play Store and Google applications, those are all closed. Those are all proprietary.
Nah, it's like 100% open source.
It's not 100%.
If you go on Android.com, you get all the source code for free. You don't get the applications, but you get the whole source code of Android for free.
Yeah, but those applications are pretty darn important. Those aren't open source. Whereas on Ubuntu, those will be open source.
No, you don't get open source Gmail, open source Google Maps, and all stuff like that.
Right, and that's important. That they should have open source Google Maps, Gmail, and Google Play Store. They're just clients. They're just clients that connect to web services.
I mean, it's too complicated. For now, they can't really do that.
Why not, though?
As I said, if you do that, then maybe you suddenly have people using 2 times or 5 times too much bandwidth. And that's not good.
Well, that's a service problem. That's something that Google has to do themselves, to limit it.
Maybe eventually, but for now they can't really do it.
Like other applications, there are open source Evernote clients that work just fine.
Yeah, Evernote. I don't know what.
Evernote's pretty good. I use it.
I'd like to see Google Keep. What's going on? I just got 4.3 now on my phone here. I don't know.
You have a Galaxy Nexus or something?
A Galaxy Nexus 4.3 just installed by itself automatically. I just woke up and it's 4.3. I had to click one thing, but it just loaded into.
Are there any noticeable improvements at all?
It's probably twice as fast and stuff like that, but they don't really advertise it. But the big
4.3 is bringing some nice improvements on the phone. I mean, some of the not noticeable ones like Roboto Font, they redid that. There's also a hidden feature where you can control what permissions an app gets. It's not out there yet. You have to search for it, but it's in there.
Nice. So because it's quite complicated to have all this multitasking going on, and it's a big deal to try to improve that, I guess. And I guess they're improving that with 4.3. In terms of you
really
controlling what you do and not using too much power in the background and all that stuff, which is a big deal, kind of challenge on Android because it's real multitasking, and it has always been kind of real multitasking, not like the fake multitasking on Apple. This is for real. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the thing you just said, how you can. Hopefully it's not too complicated to manage, because if it's complicated to manage what goes on your phone, then people are not really going to use it. But if it's easy, and if you say turn this off and don't let this app do that, and don't let this app do that, and where you can easily have an overview of what's going on, that could help. So.
Also on the
actually.
What do you say? What do you want to say?
You can talk. I'm fine. I'm sorry if I interrupt.
Oh no, it's all good. What I was gonna tell you is if you wanted to see if you could get into the permissions app.
If I could?
On 4.3.
Yeah, could you show it to us?
If you want to try it out, that is.
I don't know where it might be. Is it in settings?
I'll tell you how to do it if you want.
Like, hold on, I'll look it up. Like,
You want me to tell you how to do it? It's on.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to do it, it's pretty easy. I mean, you just have to go into
Where do I go?
the app is called App Ops.
App Ops.
You got the official 4.3 build, right?
Yeah. I have to download the App Ops?
Okay. Yeah. No. It's in the system already. It's just hidden. It's not put out there in front yet. It's already in there. It just hasn't been put out front, you know?
So how do I get it out?
Okay. So if you want to do it, go into settings. Go into your apps.
Okay, settings. And then I go into the apps.
And then look for something called App Ops.
Okay, I go into all apps. That should be with A, right? App Ops. I don't see it.
Oh, also you can like
Not seeing
install WebOS on that.
WebOS.
Yes.
If you
Is that a
you
UI
want-
replacement?
if you want,
It's
you can
not a-
download
It's not a UI replacement. It's a whole different OS.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like 12 people use it, no?
It's a
like,
horrible
you know,
OS.
Well, it was made by HP and Palm. Well, it was open sourced a while ago, so you can run it on a Galaxy Nexus.
Looks
So-
pretty.
I don't see that app up thing.
It is
Sorry.
being set.
Do you have Nova Launcher on there?
I don't have any. No. No, I don't have that. I just.
No, not third party.
Just Nexus.
If
I don't
you
know.
want, you can download it. There's an app. There's an app you can download from the Play Store if you want to try it out.
All right.
I'm not sure. What
and
country are you in? Are you in the US or?
No, I'm in Denmark right now. So what it's gonna do is just gonna. That's the feature you talk about, the controlling the app. What you call it?
App Ops.
The app access and stuff. The app features. Every app. All right, I'll check it out. I haven't checked anything out.
It controls what permissions you want to give to each app.
All right. So is there any other news that anybody want to talk about? Something?
Hold on, I'll find some stuff.
Google Glass invites.
Yeah, it's still $1,500. But I'd like to be invited, but no, I'd rather not pay the $1,500.
Exactly.
They should.
$1,635 with taxes and everything.
Nice.
Wow.
It's going to be more like $299. I mean, whenever it launches.
Bye,
hopefully.
Mom.
Bye, Mom. Where is she going?
She's going to her room.
Oh,
To watch, to be on the Chromecast.
yeah.
I don't think
Chromecast.
she wants to.
I wish I could run this Hangout in the Chromecast. That would be cool.
How are you liking it?
I'm not really using it because I'm using my TV as my computer, so I don't want to switch back and forward, and I don't use sound from my TV at all. So I'm using external speakers, and I haven't connected them to my TV. So when I use this, there's no sound. So they need to have a mini jack output so I could connect my speakers to it or something like that. That'd be cool.
Oh, I found something. Hold on, let me get the screen sharing going. So.
Okay.
So yeah, like Xiaomi, I don't know how you pronounce that, but Xiaomi, the producer of the MIUI-based phones, unveiled a new phone, the Red Rice, for $130.
Nice. It's a MT6589 quad core, maybe. 720p screen for $130. That's good. Good job, Xiaomi. Xiaomi is pretty big. They sell like tens of millions of phones already. That's cool. Very nice.
So yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
maybe
just in case you want to
when
try
I
it
want
out.
something from China, maybe you could get me one of those.
Yeah, I'll get you one of those, of course. Whatever you want.
Like I need to replace my like feature phone. You know, you can't do a lot of stuff with it.
All right.
Like but like before I owned these, like I owned a Motorola Razr.
All right. If you do a lot of work on the internet for me, posting some stuff on armeddevices.net with the Julius Augustus nickname, you can get the phone. Next time I go to China, I'll buy it, of course.
Okay, well I'm gonna upload a bunch of new articles soon. So, because I found some videos that on that discussion board, that haven't been made yet. So,
Nice. Videos about what?
like from the like that Google Groups thing you linked me to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the
Well,
videos that I've filmed that I haven't published yet. I have like
Yeah.
50 videos that haven't been
Like I
published
found
yet.
several unpublished videos. So,
All right, cool. So I'm going to start publishing a new video every 12 hours on armeddevices.net forever. That's the plan. So
Cool.
every 12-hour new video automatically, maybe even every 6 hours sometimes when
I
there's
think all
too many
my
videos queued up.
existing articles, they're ready to go. So, I think you should post them.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a whole bunch of things right now. So that's why we're gonna finish this Hangout.
I fixed all the grammar and stuff.
Are you gonna be going to CES?
Of course, but CES is like 6 months from now. There's a whole bunch of things before.
Oh
like,
man, I already registered. I already got
Nice.
my press badge, man. I'm excited for that.
Have you been before?
Yeah, I went last year. I'm with AndroidSpin.com.
Nice. What are you the main Android spin?
What's up?
Is it your website?
No, it's me and 3 other guys.
Cool. Yeah, I've been to CES like 7 or 8 times. It's pretty cool. All right. So
Yeah, that's fine.
and you, Thomas, maybe you'll get to CES too. We'll see.
I'm not sure my parents would approve of that. So
I'll speak with your mom. I'll convince her. All right. But it is
I
pretty
still- I still-
I still need money and I need time. I'm not sure if I have college, so I'm not sure if I'd be able to go.
Yeah, time is money. So money is time. Or
Have you
maybe
been to
not.
I/O as well, or no?
Never to I/O. I
Oh.
tried to click, but I was in China last time and I couldn't get through to buy a ticket to go to I/O. And I'm glad I didn't go because there was no new hardware.
Why?
There was no new hardware. I wanted to see.
Everyone got a Pixel.
Yeah, but Pixel sucks.
Everyone got a Pixel.
But you can sell that. You can sell the Pixel.
Yeah, if you can sell to pay for the ticket, but I don't like Intel powered stuff, so I wouldn't have, no thanks. So I thought it
I'm
was
gonna be
kind
getting
of
the Google
disappointing.
Glass here soon.
But even when you use an ARM device, you're using Intel because most servers are Intel based.
No, not soon. They're all going to be ARM powered, but that's going to be for the next show. So let's talk about ARM servers in the next show. So this is it. No more. Let's
All
not
right.
talk anymore.
Okay.
Okay,
Later,
I'm going
guys.
to stop it. Thanks for watching.